Hello, I am Miss Harriet, and I'm a star tutor, and I'm also a writer. I love to read and I love to write, and I hope I can share a little bit of my love of writing with you today. So, before we get started with our quick, fun writing lesson, I want to make sure you have a couple of things. You need the workshop that says Stare the Empty Pot. This is the worksheet we're about to work with. And of course, you need a pencil or a pen. But I like pencils because I like erasers. Because with writers, it's okay to erase. We work and work till we get it right. Also, make sure you've got your book, The Empty Pot, because that's what we're going to be looking at today and writing with. So I'll give you a second to get all those things and make sure you've got everything in front of you that you need to do our writing lesson. So hopefully you've got them now. So what I want to talk today is about telling people how to do something. Have you ever told somebody how to do something? It could be as simple as how to heat up a hot dog in the microwave. I don't know if you've done that. Or how to tie a knot. You probably know how to tie a knot. Probably something you'll know how to do is how to call somebody on the phone. So if you're going to tell somebody or teach somebody how to call someone on the phone, you say, get your phone and swipe up to make it open. Then you push the green button, see that at the bottom with the white phone on it. Then you punch in the numbers that you need. Next, and finally, you hit the green button to call and hold it up to your ear and talk. That is how you tell somebody how to do something. You've done that before. So, in our book, The Empty Pot, we learned how Ping tried to grow a flower. Before he got the emperor's seed, Ping could grow anything and make it bloom. He was really great at growing things. In today's writing, we're going to learn how to write something explaining how to do something we do well. But first, let's look at how Ping grew flowers, because we really learned how he grew flowers. So look at your worksheet and let's try filling in the blanks on here using your book. You see how it goes. First, he carefully planted the seed in the rich soil. Remember when he did that? He was sure he could grow the most beautiful flower. And so Ping planted his seed in the rich soil. Then, do you remember what he did next? It says on the next page what he did every day. Then he watered it every day. So right on the next line, he watered it every day. What did he do next? Do you remember? He watered it every day, and after nothing grew, the next thing he did was he put soil into a bigger pot. Remember that? So in the line that says next, he put new soil into a bigger pot. I'll give you a second to write that and just spell it the best you can. Sound it out. Then he put new soil into a bigger pot. Do you have that? Let's look and see what he did next. Next, he put soil into a bigger pot. Let's see what he did next. Then he transferred the seed to that pot. So you could just put, then he transferred the seed. It's right there in the book. Then he transferred the seed. Last, finally, what did he do? Do you remember what he did? Remember he waited? Finally, he waited and waited. And that's how you plant a flower. So let's review what Ping did. First, he carefully planted the seed in rich soil. You wrote that down. Then he watered it every day. Next, he put new soil into a bigger pot. Then he transferred the seed, remember? And finally, he waited and waited. So those were the steps for how Ping grew flowers. Planting the seed, and he transferred it. So if you notice, each sentence on your sheet that you filled in starts with a transition word. And like our book tells us, you can notice the transition words at the start of each of our sentences. Transition words help connect or link ideas or phrases or sentences or paragraphs. You see them all the time when you read. Transition words also show us time, like the order that things happen. You often see transition words at the start of a sentence. So why don't you go back on your worksheet and circle the transition words in our sentences under the warm-up. Do you see first? Circle that one. And then you see this transition word that starts the next sentence. Then, so circle that. And then you see the next transition word, next, circle that. Drop down and circle then. And then what's that last transition word? Say it with me, finally. So circle that. Now list all those 5 transition words below. You circled them above and now list them on those 5 blank spaces. Right there, you've got your 5 blank spaces. So write them in. First, then, next, then, and finally. So hopefully you've written those words in, filled in the blanks. And let's just look at this table at the bottom of our worksheet and look at how there are more transition words that show time. They're called sequential transition words. Like if you're going to, at the beginning of how you tell somebody to do something, you might say to start. Then look below. It says to begin. Then first. Often when you're telling somebody how to do something, you start with first, like we did above. Or in the beginning. Or at first. Those are all transition words that show the beginning of something. What about, see these middle transition words? When you're in the middle of telling somebody how to do something, you use words like, read them with me, like then, and go below, next, after, later, second, third, and, that's a compound word, meanwhile. And then if you want to, in our table, you can see words that you use to end something. Read them with me. Last, finally, in the end, afterward, and lastly. Those are transition words you use to end something. So turn over your sheet and we'll get ready to do our own writing. But let's talk about one more how-to. I want you to think about, just for a second, put in your thinking cap, and think about, just to practice, how you would tell someone how to make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Have you ever thought about how to tell somebody how to do something like that? Just like we practice with how to call somebody on the phone. I want you to think about how you'd tell somebody to make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. What would you do first? Wouldn't you first maybe get 2 slices of bread and put them on a plate? And then you'd get a knife ready, not a sharp knife, and open a jar of peanut butter and open your jar of jelly. And then you put some peanut butter on one side of the mat of the bread. Next, you put some jelly on the other side of the bread. And then you put the 2 sides together. And finally, you eat it. Yum. So that's how we make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. And you see how we used our transition words? First, then, next, finally, to explain how to do something. So now I think you're ready. I think you're ready to write your own how-to. So let's think about something that you know how to do really well. Like I've told you I've explained how to make a phone call, which you probably already know how to do, and how to make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. So I want you to go step by step in your writing and explain how to do something. In our book, we know that Ping was really good at growing flowers. So think about something you're good at. That would be a good thing to write about. We've got a list on our sheet, like how to make tacos, how to ride a bike. Is that something you could tell somebody how to do? How to take care of your dog, maybe how to give your dog a bath, or how to blow a bubble with bubble gum, or how to be a good friend. That's a good how to. First, um, how to brush your teeth. That's something that we all do every day, I hope. Um, so go step by step, starting with first you, then you, next, you can say then again, and then finally. So you're going to write a paragraph using complete sentences and starting each sentence with one of those transition words. So I'm going to give you some time to do that after we finish. You've got your sheet. You're going to do it right here. Your title is going to be How To. So hopefully you've thought of what you're going to do. Put on your thinking cap. Think about what you're going to teach. And at the bottom is a checklist to remind you of everything you want to do. You want to write an introduction sentence. This is how you wash your dog. Write an introduction sentence. Don't just jump into the story. Write that introduction sentence. This is how you. Then write your steps in order. This is how you make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. First, you get a plate and a knife. Then you get peanut butter. Then you get jelly. So whatever it is you're telling how to, write the steps in order. And be sure to use those transition words like first, next, then, last, finally. We've got a whole list of good transition words for you to practice using. So when I finish, I'm going to say goodbye, and I want you to sit and write your essay. And remember, what I always try to remind people about writing is that you have a voice. Your voice is powerful, and your voice can change the world. So go write and share your voice and teach somebody how to do something. So have a great day. Bye.